First of all, I want to congratulate them for their effort.
The interconnectedness. How does academic, mental health, emotional, and psychological well-being connect? Because one cannot go without the other. We need a holistic approach to be able to form the students to be whole, so that they don't go out there and they are misfits in one area or the other. I want to start my presentation with a quote from Abraham Lincoln. The city mayor just quoted him and said that he told the teacher of his son, "Teach my son that $1 earned is better than 5 found." And I want to start with him. He was an intellectual, and he left a fruitful legacy. I think that is why we keep quoting him. And he said that the strength of a nation lies in the home of its people. The strength of a nation, any nation, lies in the home of its people. When students spend 8 to 9 hours of their productive lives in school, and 4 consecutive months for those in boarding school, it is undeniable to say that our schools have become quasi-homes. Do we agree? Our schools are homes. And if we want to develop these children holistically, we need to be parents to these children, because parents are absent. We have a lot of permissive and laissez-faire parenting all over. So if we don't come in as educators to fill that gap, we will be raising children who will not actually be balanced. Dear educators, I want to say that there is one thing that we will leave behind after our last breath. It will not be about the so many mansions. It will be about the lives we have transformed. And if we don't become parents to these children, it is going to be very tough, because unfortunately, the children we are raising up today are children in adult skin. And that is why the World Health Organization said that if we are not careful, children will gradually go into extinction. They are very smart, and we need to be there to make sure that they don't become dysfunctional policy makers. The children ministry is one of the most neglected, whether we like it or not. Even the least funded in Africa. Sometimes we have projects with these young people, but where are the funds? Where are the funds? So we are saying that as teachers, let us cover that gap. Let us play the role of absentee parents in the lives of these children. I will tell you about Mother Teresa of Calcutta. Mother Teresa left her comfort zone to go live with the poor, to be able to understand what it means to be poor. Who is a parent? A parent is an individual who has a child and is responsible for their care, upbringing, and well-being. Parents can be biological, social, or adoptive. Whatever the case may be, parents are expected to play a crucial role in shaping children's physical, emotional, cognitive, moral, spiritual, why not, social and psychological development. I will tell you something. With my little knowledge in counseling and psychology, there are moments where we need to blend cognitive behavioral therapy, or what is commonly known as the CBT approach, with biblical principle. If we don't bring God on board, what is happening with our children will become worse. It will become worse. So we have to blend, we have to use the eclectic approach. We use all other approaches to see how we can put these children straight, because it is really terrible. The issue of parenting has been addressed by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. If you go through that goal, you realize that it is addressing 6 of these goals. Goal number 3, which is good health and well-being. Goal number 4, which is quality education. Goal 5, which is gender equality. Goal 6, which is decent works and economic growth. Goal 10, which is reduce inequalities. Goal 16, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions. And for the UN to achieve these goals, parenting must be at the center. And if parents are not playing their role back at home, educators should try as much as possible. We may not be complete parents to these children, but we can be parents to them. The role of teachers: how can you become a parent to these children? Nurture them, emotional intelligence, show them, teach them empathy and how to bounce back. Teach them resilience. Promote social skills, interpersonal skills, teamwork, and community development. We equally have intellectual development, cognitive skills, critical thinking. Help them find purpose and meaning. Help them to be law-abiding, and help them to improve on their physical well-being. On the part of administrators, how do you become a parent in the school milieu? You need to set the tone for a positive school culture, promote respect, empathy, and inclusivity. Resource allocation to school programs, extracurricular activities, counseling programs, support teachers' professional development, give them opportunities to attend workshops, conferences, and if possible, give them awards when they deserve it. Encourage partnership with local organizations, and then you promote well-being. Dear educators, I want to talk on the aspect of labeling. Labels have killed a lot of people, and we should be the last people to label students or to label one another. Last year or earlier this year, a medical student actually passed on because of label. When he was growing up, he was interested in female-dominated tasks. He loved cooking and all of that. And because of that, he was nicknamed Girl Boy. Since at the age of boy girl, since at the age of 9. So it played on his psychology, and finally he ran into depression and he passed on. Empathy is something that we have to encourage as the teachers in school, because all of these things are things that parents are supposed to do. So if you find yourself in that position, please do it. Because of time, I elaborated a lot on Thomas Edison, the founder of the light bulb, and we can get more on that in this small document. It is called Promoting Parental Care. Everything is inside. And I want to end with the aspect of discipline. Dear educators, or dismissal, is it really the best way to go, to dismiss our children when they behave maybe in an extreme, or when they portray an extreme behavior? Don't you think that it is better for us to refer these students instead of dismissing them completely from school? Because we have organizations who are specialized in forming these children with extreme behavior. I will end with a quote, another quote from Martin Luther King. Doctor said that not everyone can be famous, but everyone can be great, because greatness is determined by service. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject-verb agree to serve. You don't have to know about Plato or Aristotle to serve. You don't need to know Einstein's theory of relativism to serve. All you need is a heart full of love and a heart full of grace. And as a parent, all of this is at the center of what parenting is all about. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Shiwo. You could decide and give us a soft copy.